Okay, so what we're doing here, I dropped this guy on the ground. We are going around this block of wood. I got the basic design drawn on there. So I'm taking my square and I'm going at every one of these points around here and drawing a line around this square. That way the whole thing's squared up. When I go to cut all this stuff, everything will be squared. All my lines on this side will be exactly where they are on that side. Alright guys, so I'm getting to carving this in the woods a little brittle. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it kind of wider than the original. I think something about keeping it a little bit bigger than the original will make it stronger, keep it more stable in the water. What I'm doing when I'm carving these is you just go in straight, just a little bit, like as deep as you want your line to be. And you just come in at a 45-degree angle both sides on that line. And just pop it right on out. It's that simple. If I make a cut on this side, I do the cut on this side, then I do this cut, then I do this cut. That way every time I do it, I'm matching each thing that I do. And I try to do it like that all the way down, so everything matches. So before I polyurethane the bait, I still got to do the face. I got to carve it out. Now I have these eyeballs, these eyes that I've made before, and I have an idea here. These ones are more for fish. Try to get that in focus so you can see them. It's just pieces of paper that I printed out on the printer, and then I 210 epoxy over the top of them to make them stick out. So what I think I'm going to do for the eyeballs on this guy is instead of carving them, I think I'm going to make some eyeballs. I might even hand paint them and then 210 epoxy them, and then I'll stick them on. That way they pop out and they have a little bit of a like glass eye look. I think that'll come out cool. So do that. So grab some colors, some acrylics. It's just acrylic paintbrush. I got some manila folders, and I'm just basically going to get an idea about how big that eyeball is. Just took this, put it over that one, put it on here. An easy way to trace out too. Let's do plastic lids. Oops, a little bit too much paint. Not really that cheap. Try to use a lot less paint that time. So I don't have to go back and do it again. These eyes have like black splats on them. Kind of gives me an idea. I think I can splat black paint on here. It might do the trick. So got some black Rustoleum. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to barely mist over both of these guys. Like I said, I'll just come back and I'll 210 epoxy coat over the top of those. Here's a little higher for you guys to see. Try to keep the epoxy just where your color's at. Focus. Yep. And I'm just going to cut those out once they're dry, and I will glue them on. Gravity's going to want to make the go down. So I have a little idea here. Go straight upside down with this for a second. Go back. Thinking. By doing that, it will keep it so it's not moving. It's just about the gravity thing. I don't want it falling off the paper at the same time. I don't want it to lose the shape that it's got. So if I hold it like this, it'll stay bubbled. Goes like this, starts to want to sink down and flatten out. This stuff dries pretty quick. If I just do this for a couple minutes, I think they'll stay bubbled up. So I was taking a break and I went in and I was watching some more bait making videos, and I realized that I need to weight this thing. Ups in there. This will also, since I did the polyurethane on this and sealed it, put a little bit more of this glue in here, and that'll go ahead and it'll reseal that wood that's right there that's not part of the polyurethane. Stick that right there. Try not to get on your fingers. So I got the piece of lead in there. What I'm going to do is a little trick I learned off of Marlene Baits. Uses crazy glue or super glue. I only have crazy glue, usually use a super glue, but this should work just the same. It's going to cover over this. I could do this with two-tone epoxy, but I just want to try this out because I've never done this. Big dab of crazy glue over it. And you sprinkle some baking soda right over it. It is already dried. And I just gotta sand that a little bit. Barely even gotta sand that. Just got some Rustoleum white. Rustoleum. It's a little thicker. It actually helps to coat the bait. So I had to wait a bit for the paint on this to dry. Now I can go ahead and do the base coat of acrylics. And all you little kids. Went ahead and put a second coat of paint on this guy. Yellow lines down the back, and there's like some yellow dots on the back, but I have an idea of what I'm going to do right here on the back instead. Part.
One of these old days, one of these old days, we ain't gonna have to cry no more.
piece of metal on it. Tried to do it with the drill, but my drill's too powerful. Close to it, that way it's got a lot of room to get some bite on there. I'm going to epoxy it in. What I want to do here with the drill is I want to get that bit set the distance of this, because I don't want to drill too far and go through the bait and then it'll ruin it. These are super duper in there. Just need to knock them out. So my next step is these guys. These out. Get the ball. Mike. This is going to be the hard part because I got to make sure I get these about the same. So I'm just going to put one on and get it glued in place, and then try to match the other side to where it's at. They don't have to be exact. Right there with it. Got one side on. It's dried. Try to match this other side. Here you wanted to stick to it, but it doesn't look like it got any fingerprint on it. Went around the eyes with that blue paint again, around the top. You can see a little bit above that top where there's a bit of the super glue. but I don't think it matters. Just gives the eyes a little bit of depth on the top. And as you can see, it's all sealed in there. You don't have those eyeballs poking up. It just looks like part of the eyeball. I'm going to attempt to do these wings here, and I wanted to use this, but I only have one of these. This one's kind of scratched up, and this one's really beat out. I'm not going to use those. I'm just going to use this, but it's too thick. I just think it would be too heavy for the bait because it's light. So what I'm going to do here is I have this old Tupperware, and I think I'm going to sacrifice this thing for the lure. Oops. And I got one too. File off some of this color here. One wing. We'll come back and we'll cut detail into it. Come down to that other line. Gonna go over the whole thing. The black. What that's doing is just getting it down on the lines. I may cut the lines a little thicker. I don't know if that's sticking in there very well. Kind of hard to see, but it's pretty good. Just enough to have some black in there. Just to make those lines stand out. I'm just going to do the other one the same way, and I'm going to attach some springs on there. Make a mark the spots. So set, and then just can't get that over there. There it goes. Just gotta turn it at an angle a little bit, and then bam, we're on. Easy peasy. I only want a spring barely going in into the bait. It's going to be enough to hold dot here. Perfect. That right here. Let's see what this looks like. This 2-ton epoxy should be pretty close to dry. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but it'll work. Looks like a catastrophe, but it's holding them in there this time. So the last little step here is to clean up the eye holes. And I have a couple little spots that I need to touch up with epoxy and put the hooks on this. And then I can take it outside and show you guys what it looks like in the sunlight. So I'm just going to clean this guy up real quick.